everyone, we're starting immediately. I want to show you this way because it's going to be a good example for you, not just to work, but do the fast and qualified one. First of all, that's how you sit. This is obviously very important. Make sure your back straight, your shoulders also straight, and your neck is not under the pressure. And at the same time, you have to see the all lash line of the client very properly without no pressure on your back. The next one is how you hold your tweezers, the straight one in the left hand and the curved one in the right hand. You should find 4 places where your hand placed. 2 spots of connection supposed to be a bit lower than your shoulders. This is protect your hands from trembling, and another 2 are the elbow of client. There you should place your wrists. Don't try to do it when your hands is hanging. First of all, you will never be able to be sure in a good attachment this way, and of course you can damage the client accidentally, which is impossible. It's allowed to ask the client to turn the head a little bit when you need to work without corners, for example. Sometimes when client is sleeping, you can even do it by yourself accurately. Okay, now everybody is comfortable. You should keep a cover for your client because to work and lay down is different, so she can get freezed easily than you. And now we start. I don't recommend you to put tweezers like that again. Make sure you have everything prepared, atmosphere, music, ask client don't talk because sometimes it might be more complicated. First of all, clean it with the micellar water, the lash roots and eyelid very well. No pieces of mascara or foundation supposed to be stuck there because it will make retention much more less. Like lashes with mascara and glue together or with the pieces of remover will fall after a few days. Cleaning process is very important. Sometimes it can take long. If there is a lot of makeup, you can ask your client to remove it first by itself, so you just need to remove some pieces. Speak it out to clients, so for future she will always come without makeup and saves your time for the extension itself. Then we put in patch and make sure all bottom lashes are hidden inside. If not, help yourself with the extra paper scotch and you have asked client if the patch is not bothering and ask client to alarm that if it starts to bother during the process, because it's possible of client's face moves or when the client speaks, it's possible to make it start to be bothered. Then we're doing the scheme. Put there a little basic things. First, direction. Second, places where the length is gonna change. This is very important for the beginners especially. It takes a little bit time of the process, but at the end you will be grateful to yourself that you already did it. This is very important. Why? Because it's very easy to be confused even if you're an experienced artist. And I recommend to put 1 or 2 lashes immediate to the places where the length be changed. Because when you're pulling up eyelids with the scotch, it starts to be different according on mapping. So it will be easier for you to figure it out. I recommend you to start from easiest one, where you change in just the 3 lengths. But if you want your final work looks really professional, you have to build your scheme accordingly to face conditions and type. That's what I'm telling you in the chapter styling. Degreasing. This is a very important part. You do it with a micro brush and wooden stick. It's supposed to take surplus of liquid on itself, so degreaser will not go inside the eye. Basically it's alcohol, so you have to prevent it. You cannot pass this stage because 40% of the proper retention depends on the degreaser, so you make it very good. Make sure degreaser reach every eyelash. If you are working with one eye and then next one, you should degrease this way, one eye then the next eye. If during your work clients start to cry, this is very important. You need to remove tears totally first and only then you will be able to work. Retention with tears doesn't work, so you need to dry the tears and degreaser again. Of course, you better skip it, but with the tears, retention gonna be just for a few days. Next step is the pulling up the eyelid. You literally will not be able to work without it because very less amount of people have an eyelid which you need to pull up at least on corners. Especially the out corner of the left eye and mostly all inner corners. There are no proper recommendations how to pull it. I just recommend you to use that scotch which is not really sticky. and remove the sticky layer like that. You don't need to be scared to apply, it is not bother client at all. Just make sure you pulled up eyelid not too much and the eye are still closed properly. The task of vertical stripe is to open lash roots for you so you'll be able to make a good distancing. The task of horizontal stripe is stretch the eyelid a little bit and to make lashes more far from each other, so you should try both of them. When you are removing stripe, do it smoothly, not sharp. And now we go. There are a few places to attach your stripe. 1. The palette for it. 2. The forehead of a client. It's not hygienic and makeup can be there, so I don't recommend you to use these only when you are just start. And I think that your hand is the best one. This way you can control the process very, very well. For the extension, you need to separate one lash from others to put extension on. You cannot put extension on 2 lashes, remember it. So you need to separate only one. I recommend you to start from the mostly comfortable ones, but sometimes lashes are going parallel with an eyelid and bother whole process. You can put lashes on it first, so you will be able to make a proper direction for it, so it's not gonna bother you no more. Lashes have different layers. You shouldn't forget about it. You should definitely work with the lower one and the middle one. The top one is the last. You can open your eyelid and check where the layer is situated. 100% fulfillment is the key. If all layers will be worked, only this way set gonna be look completed. You can help yourself with a special construction of paper scotch to pull up upper layer, and this is the way you will make it easier to reach the lowest one. You can work one by one, I mean one lash, and go like that from the left side to the right side. This called book. It's good method and I normally use it. Also very good one is a cascade, when you put lashes in a scatter way. This is good to prevent stitches, because you'll be able to make sure that glue, even if it's slow, crystallize good without gluing to the next lash or the patch. Okay, then you shake your glue for the 1 minute at least, put the drop in the tray or glue stone or whatever, take your tweezers and lash line and start to work. You have to keep your tweezers always parallel at the working area. I mean, it should be strictly parallel with the lash stripe when you're removing lash. This is only one way how you can remove it. In any other way, you will not be able to place it properly, so you should teach yourself always follow these rules and make it automatically as fast as possible. The same with the eyelid. When you are placing the lash to lash, your tweezers are supposed to be always strictly parallel to that area where the lash grows. That's how you can control the direction as well. Your moves must be always smooth. No sharp moves with the tweezers are out of case. Same with the glue drop. The zone of attachment extension to lash supposed to be not less than 2 mm for a good retention. If you see that lash is complicated and you can only make it less, you should increase the amount of glue, but just a little bit. So you put lash inside the glue on 2 mm, exactly in the middle of the drop, because there is the freshest glue there. And take it out slowly, because if you're gonna make it faster, the amount of glue on extension will be too big. And every lash gonna be like that, the work will be looks dirty. Of course, you can remove the surplus of glue of the tray, it happens, but don't do it at the patch, because this material go with strong chemical reactions with the glue, I mean the material of the patch. So it can be very hurtful for the sensitive eyes, the evaporation of this chemical reaction. You can make a place for you to remove the surplus of glue with a paper scotch, but don't make pressure with the fan, because you can accidentally remove more than you're supposed to, and the lash will be totally without the glue. You should pay big attention to the distancing. Distance from the eyelid to extension supposed to be half of millimeter in the center and even a little bit less in the corners. This is very important because lashes used to grow up, so if you're gonna put lashes too far immediately, after 1 week, look offset will be not really satisfying and lash line not straight. If you will make a different distance everywhere, you will never be able to make a straight lash line and the accurate shade. So there is like a pattern of proper job. Distancing is a must to follow. To make it easier, you can use a paper scotch to pull the eye like I told you before, so you can control the distancing better. Another one is direction. This is always very important, especially in classic extension, because the mistakes are more visible. The extension lash supposed to be 90% degrees to the eyelid anyways, even though natural lash looking somewhere else, you are the one who create direction. If lash is very unsubmissive, you should hold it after you put lash for a few seconds to make sure that it's stuck well. Like you should see all tips of your eyelashes. I mean, if you're gonna make a long line from the lash with extension, and other lashes, this line don't supposed to cross nowhere. There are a few types of direction, I told you already. This is also very important, and this is the next pattern of proper extension. There are a few types of lash placement. You can do it from bottom, from top and from the side. All these types is okay since you are sure the tail of the extension being attached with lash totally. I mean the tail not supposed to be hanging because the retention also for these lashes will be much more or less. So you are watching how you holding your tweezer, changing the position in your fingers if needs. Like sometimes you need to take it more closer or more far to more comfortable placement. This is the next pattern and also very important for your job. The tail of extension and root of the lash supposed to be attached 100% and covered with the glue very good. The next thing and also pattern which you need to be careful with is the stitches. It happens when two lashes stuck to each other and look not really attractive. Believe me, if it's even not visible at the beginning, after 1 week it's gonna be visible as well because the lashes will grow up with a different speed anyways, so one will start to drop another one. It's gonna make an unattractive look and can bother your client to the level where she dropped this eyelash and what you have there, empty space. To go to that moment is impossible. So, after you're done with the work, always check for stitches. Or how I do, I always check during the work if it seems stitch for me. Remove the stitch, you can mechanically just remove one by one lashes from the fan, or you can use the debonder. Stitches is always problem. It happens not only with the beginners. I do stitches also sometimes. It's okay. The main task is not to let client leave your place with the stitches. You can prevent the stitches if you start to use fast or recent glue. That's the way how you can make the stitches less. Because when the lash arrived to another lash, when the glue didn't crystallize yet, when it's touched another lash, it starts to stuck with each other. So in this way, you are better to change your technique from the book to cascade. This way you can protect the neighborhood lashes from the stitch. Also, during your work, check sometimes if no lashes stuck to the patch or to the bottom lashes. If you see that it's stuck to patch, you can remove it with making pressure on patch a little bit with a straight tweezer and put the lash slowly with a curved one, but with a sure. Make sure that when the lash will finally unstuck off patch, power of your hands gonna be enough to stop it and don't drop lash from the eyelid at all. The same with two lashes close situated to each other. If you see that lashes stuck to your bottom one, ask client keep the eyes closed and put your curved tweezer inside it between upper and bottom lashes and make a sharp move up. It might be painful a little bit, but it's better to do like that and prevent it for future than make it with the liquids and make a client cry and suffer. Again, when you're working with a glue which is slower than recent, you need to make sure all your moves is smooth and you pay attention on every lash. Like after you place extension already, don't remove tweezer immediately. Give time to lash to crystallize with the glue. This last moment you can correct the direction a little bit, but don't roll the lash because it's gonna ruin the glue connection. When you are just a beginner, you need always check your lashes if they stuck properly. You can strongly brush it or pull it a little bit because sometimes it looks like a lash is attached, but then you brush it and see a lot of lashes fall. You will not need to check this during all your working career. Since the moment you will learn, you will not mistake anymore. But when you are just learning, it's better check as soon as possible. So this way you will be able to control where you do mistakes, and from that moment you can figure out how not to make it anymore. Sometimes placement is not proper, especially corners, but if out corners fall first, it's gonna ruin the whole look of extension and your client will not be satisfied. What you should know about the lashes, they have three types: baby lashes, teenager one, and adult. They have names Catagen, Anagen, and Telegen. At the beginning of your career, I suggest you to work only with these two. I mean the teenager and the grown one. I'll explain you why. First of all, the teenager and adult lashes, they are already strong, and even if you're gonna put too long or heavy eyelash there, it will handle it anyways. My recommendation for a healthy extension, not to make it longer than 30% of own length, but you know how clients can neglect this rule, so you must be flexible also. If you will put this heavy extension of Anagen, possibly after a few days it starts to be hanging or drop this lash. Another problem is the smallest lashes, they grow faster than any lashes else. So if you're gonna put the extension on, they will grow faster and this lash will be different from the whole lash line. If you wanna put something there, or for example that small one is bothering you, you better put for one small lash on them. Even if it's volume extension, you just put one and it will help you a lot during the separation. When you are done with extension, when you put the last lash on the last lash, this is not yet a final stage. First of all, when you are done with the extension, you have to check all the eyelashes for the stitches. I don't say to spend a lot of time, just go like that, see if there is not a big stitches, it's going to be visible immediately. After you are finished to checking on the stitches, you remove all the patches and things smoothly. Check if no eyelashes, if no upper eyelashes stuck to bottom eyelashes. Use your fan. Put it blowing on the eyes of a client and ask client open eyes smoothly, very smooth, and then you will see if she don't have no bothering feelings. You have to ask her. If she don't have no bothering feelings, you can finish with the extension and start to give her post-care advices. This is very important because as a lash maker, of course, you know all these advices, but regular clients, she don't need to know all this, and your task to explain to her. Because of this gonna depends her attention, and if her attention gonna be better, of course she will come back to you as soon as she will need new set. I recommend you to have brushes, and after you're done with your work, you give brush for your client and say that this is just a gift, and explain that she have to brush her eyelashes at least once a day in the morning after washing, but not wet eyelashes. Before she need to dry them and then brush, because if it's wet she can remove, maybe sometimes it can remove more easily. Also another thing after, because sometimes, for example, if you do a big volume or you do Kylie effect with the stripes, after 2 weeks the lashes start to grow as much as possible and the line gonna be not straight. I saw it even with my own eyelashes. Sometimes I watch in the mirror and I see just mess of lashes. Then I just use the brush it from top and then from bottom to make the line correct, and everything is fine. You can use shampoo for cleaning eyelashes. If you don't have shampoo, no problem. You can use just normal foam for the face or micellar water, for example, if you are using a makeup. Also, you need to say to your client, don't use the things for the skin with the oils, especially around the eyelids or for the eyelashes, because the oils make the retention less and the lashes start to run away faster. If she use the makeup, my recommendation, she need to remove it very, very properly. And if she use a heavy makeup, she 100% need to buy a shampoo. Because when you're just cleaning it, you don't rub the eyelash line. So some pieces of dust can stuck there, and with the time it can bother your client. So for her, you should bring her the information that she should take care about her eyelashes. Don't neglect these rules, and everything gonna be fine. Another thing, some clients, I notify some clients do when they nervous, they start to pinch eyelashes, to rub it, it's something same like when you're just biting your nails. And this is very, very bad habit, because when you do like that, you remove the eyelashes, you just drop your own eyelashes, and they start to grow not really fast. Sometimes you need like 1 month for eyelash to grow. So for this, you're better say to your client, prevent these things and pay attention if she do it. Or sometimes if your client come after 1 month and you see a lot of empty places without eyelashes, you need to speak it out to her, because sometimes people don't pay attention to these things, but these things is very, very important to you and to your good job.